Raven Oak is best known for writing epic fantasy and space opera. She's even published on the moon. I want to hear about that, Raven. She lives in the Seattle area with her wife and 3 kitties who enjoy lounging across the keyboard when writing deadlines approach. Her hair color changes as often as her bio does. Raven, over to you.
All righty. In this world, Amaskins are assassins that believe they are doing God's work, serving justice, and ridding the world of evil. They all have a tattoo that notes their membership, which is an incredibly holy order to them. Our main character, Adelaide, is meeting her adopted father and the Grand Master of the Order of Amaska because she's been given a job she does not like. And it's one that sends her back into her birth father's hands. And she has some questions. Adelaide met Braddock outside and followed him as he led his horse to one of the gentler courses. There are things you must know about this job, Adelaide. I know you have questions, but let me tell you what I can first. Be patient. Yes, master. Braddock turned sharp flint on her and squinted. Come now, daughter. Surely we can speak candidly. He kicked his horse into a healthy trot. Her response was to stand up in the stirrups and release the reins, her balance held mostly by her heels. The showy move was a risk with her muscles sore and body lacking sleep, but she held a twisted enjoyment in taking such a risk. When he uttered a single word, her horse shifted into a canter, and she wobbled. Her thighs ached, heavy with sleep toxins, but the feeling meant she was alive. But for how long? If she was sent into Alexander... I wish there was another way. He interrupted her thoughts with a whisper. I don't do this by choice, Adelaide, but necessity makes fools of us all. How much do you remember of your childhood? You mean my time before the order? He nodded, and she closed her eyes a moment. Brief snatches of memories. Forest. Being cold. Her mother's voice. A doll. Adelaide shook her head. Not a lot, just bits. His hands played with the black threaded circles along the reins. I've never kept it a secret from you, how you got here. You mean how that man, my birth father, sold me into slavery to keep his kingdom from war? When Braddock shifted his weight in the saddle, she sucked in a swift intake of air. Is he why I'm going back? Her father didn't answer, but she'd wait him out. They passed several Amaskins on the trail as they rounded the corner. Yes, your father ordered you home. What right does he have? He's not even my father. Adelaide, he knows our location, the order. If I don't send you home, he'll disclose it to the Boheme Senate. The entire order would be at risk. King or not, he's just a client, nothing more. He can't possibly know our location. Why even entertain this? Master Braddock shook his bald head. He sent someone directly into the order. Someone I'd not seen in a long time. When he says he knows our location, he knows. There's another reason I'm agreeing to this charade, said her master. There are rumors. People believe that your She scowled and he corrected himself. King Leon is adjusting his borders. It's not something the order gets involved in, but there are some who believe he may be gearing up for another war. True or not, if his military is accumulating land by way of dead farmers, it would be worth knowing. Braddock faced her. Go ahead. I can see the question on the tip of your tongue. Father, I understand the need to investigate this, but sending me across into that kingdom is a death sentence. Even if the king ordered me there, I'd never make it across the border. The people of Alexander would kill me before I was even allowed to reach the capital city. I can't go back there. Certainly not to a man who sold me. I want nothing to do with this. The order requires you to complete this job. Is there even a job to take? Is anyone under attack? For real? Is that a guise to force your hand? Did you ever think of that? His sigh was one of reflex, an action so ingrained in her memories she could picture it without trying. The slump of his shoulders, one of which bore a spiderweb scar from an arrow, the way he closed his eyes right before the exhale, and the slight tick near his mouth as he prepared his argument. His fingers held too tight to his reins until she apologized. As far as we know, there have been attempts on your sister's life. Possibly by Trebor. Before you ask, yes, we investigated it, and at high cost, too. The rolling hills gave way to rockier terrain as they approached the coastline. The Heron Sea stretched out before them, a hazy blue-gray with white-tipped peaks scattered here and there. Instead of turning with the trail, Adelaide pulled the mare to a stop to watch the smaller waves break across the rocks up ahead. How could she leave this? The spray filled the air with the smell of salt and seaweed. Every time I look across this ocean, I think of you, Father. When I first came here, I was so young. My mind was confused, like the waves. I thought the ocean was ugly, gray and gloomy. Adelaide dismounted and gave the mare lead enough to munch on the tall grass nearby. When he stepped up beside her, she lifted a hand to his face and stared into his blue-gray eyes. I've grown to love the gray. Tears welled up and threatened to spill over his wrinkled lids. I have no choice, Adelaide. If I could undo this, I would. This is my home, my family. You're asking me to leave this forever. She'd be leaving him forever. A lump rose in her throat then, and she inhaled deeply of the sea air to cover it. You're the best Amaskan I've ever trained, and I need you to be the best. Return home to your birth father. Protect the princess from these assassination attempts. Find out if these rumors are true. Find out what beast swims within the murk. I wouldn't be who I am without you, she said. He dabbed at the corner of his eyes, which she ignored. Adelaide tossed a stone into the ocean where it sank beneath the waves. How did King Leon find out our location? I don't know. He was lying. Rather than confront him, she changed tactics. The Boheme Senate has come after the order before. What's changed? I'm too old to start a war with the Senate. We kill because our gods say we must, for justice. Not even the Senate can change that. But if we compromise the location of the order, we put at risk not just Amaskans, but anyone who's ever hired us, anyone who has ever cried out for our help. Even the gods themselves may not be safe. The air cast a chill about Adelaide, and she pulled her black cloak tighter about her shoulders. How can the gods not be safe? Something about the way his jaw pulsed kept her from asking. You want to know how you're going to get into the kingdom of Alexander? Yes. She saw the knife too late, its metal glinting in the setting sun. By then his hand had already moved between the distance, and the blade peeled across her jaw. She bit back her scream. Grandmaster Braddock held the knife before him, a piece of her skin dangling from it. Blood ran down her jaw to land, hidden on her cloak. Her tattoo was gone. All right. So this book's part of my giveaway tonight. Make sure you fill out that giveaway form and snag the complete trilogy.